afternoon, everybody. This is your favorite sports analyst, Jeremiah McKill, with my favorite co-host,
James Jerwitz.
and this is J&J Sports, you guys. It's such an honor to still be, on air. We appreciate all the comments and everything. Yeah, James, what you had to say?
We appreciate all the watches too. We really appreciate everybody. Go ahead and give it a click, and don't forget to like and subscribe too.
Yeah, definitely keep subscribing. But now we're gonna dive right into it. Man, first things first, we got up is baseball. Have you seen the recent Astros game, James, with the Red Sox?
Yeah, they've had a pretty interesting series with the Red Sox so far.
Oh man, this was the most exciting game I ever seen from the Astros. So basically they faced up against Boston, winning 7-3 in the home game. Kind of my first question leading into this, based off this game, who in your opinion was more competitive?
I think early on the Astros were, but the defense eventually loosened up, and Boston just came back.
Yeah, I kind of seen it. That's kind of what that was the advantage that I kind of seen in them. I like the fact that even though they didn't have a good start, they still came out and tried to put in some effort. Usually teams don't do that. Once they reach a certain, they're not, it's a certain lead involved. So they were definitely competitive. So I would say 50-50. I would say it was like an even thing. Um, but man, did you see the incident with him with Verlander though? With the pitcher Verlander, man. He was a menace. I mean, the way he just went off on the coach on the other team. I guess basically it was so basically what it was is it was a verbal situation with the other team's coach because it was like a timer violation, I guess, between him and the catcher, over there. And they were talking, and the coach just kind of, I feel like that's what messed it up. That's what caused that tension when the other coach came and tried to, butt in. And Verlander just cussed him out. He just went in.
Does that
Like,
happen in baseball usually?
I never seen that ever happen. So the fact that I mean, it wasn't well, I feel like ever since that fight incident, it's going to create more situations like this. But thankfully, it was just a verbal type, interaction and it didn't get crazy. But now he cussed him out. He definitely cussed him out and said "F out of here." It's like, oh, okay, he don't care. Like, but at the same time, I kind of see where his frustration is coming from because the coach did. I feel like the coach tried to start something there. You
Okay,
see
so
them talking, yeah,
he was
and
kind of
it,
baiting him then.
yeah, kind of baiting him in, and then he kept doing it throughout the game. They kept showing clips where he was getting involved and he just had a lot going on. He really needed to sit down because I feel like that would have took away some of that bad energy that was in. You know,
It's always interesting to see the coaches interact with players of opposing teams and see like kind of what goes on there. And there's
definitely.
usually
And
there can be a lot of yelling and shouting depending on the sport, I guess.
sport, yeah.
That's
I
rare for
didn't know it
baseball.
would like it got serious fast. Like I guess the coach kind of said something to the catcher, like, "Oh well, no, he really did this," and then he was like, he listened, like, "Nah, that wasn't me. F out of here." Like he just went crazy, and it's like it just happened so fast. But nah, he was definitely a menace. And then the crazy thing about it, right after that situation happened, he pitched and striked out. He striked their team out. So it's like he showed them he backed up what he was that energy that he had. So yeah, kudos to him.
He was able to turn that into motivation, I guess. To
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he was on fire, James. I don't even know, like he was definitely on fire. But if we just let's just get into the pros and cons of things. With the Astros, I mean, their defense was in effect early, kind of what we said earlier. Um, Verlander getting a strike out after that altercation. I mean, he had at least 10 strikeouts early. It was, early in the game. Um, the defense was insane. They had a great hustle early on. I just like the way the Astros just, they get it early. You know what I mean? And then I like the fact that even though it is a home game and you're supposed to play like that, they do in away games too. They play like that in away games too. So yeah.
How does Boston compare? Are they a pretty good team at the moment this season, or?
Yeah, they're a pretty good team, but no, I'm not. Well, we about to get right into them now, but they got a lot of work to do though, for sure. Let's just kind of look at their pros and cons list, man. So for one, uh, it was a big play early on. One of their catchers missed the easy catch early in the game, and it was costing them early. Actually, they could have made a double play, but he missed it. I mean, it was a little wide, but I still feel like he could have caught that. I don't know if you've seen that, James. They just weren't catching the ball.
So they weren't
You know?
finishing then, I guess.
Yeah, they weren't finishing. They were allowing the Astros to get these easy bases and get further. That I feel like that's why it was so hard for them to come back because they didn't lock stuff down. You know what I mean? They weren't consistent enough on defense. The catchers was missing ball missing opportunities. Um, and just to put the icing on the cake, the coach was just all over the place, and he did never not once like relax. You know what I mean? And then his some of his players got kicked out. The catchers was I guess they were kind of verbally saying something on the bench, and he was sending them inside. So yeah, it was a lot.
So with the Astros, if you're looking at their extra inning games, it's a 1-7 record during extra innings, and I guess that shows that more time is not advantageous to the Astros. It actually is advantage for the opponents, I think.
Opponent, yeah, definitely. So I think that's probably why they play so hard in the beginning because they want to get that lead, first and get it, faster than the other team because it's probably might be harder for them to come back. So I get that.
Do you think they're getting burned out early?
Um, I don't know. Yeah, it kind of depends. It depends on the team, but I don't think so. I think nah, it could be it depends on who they play. That's what I'm gonna say. Because it's some teams that are just really good and the Astros might not be able to come back. But I feel like if the Red Sox, they could have came back, up with the Red Sox for sure. Um, but yeah, man. Honestly, who was your player of the game before I get into mine? Who was your player of the game like after you watching that?
I've got to go with the pitcher there. That was fantastic. And I like to see after getting into that fight to turn everything around and turn it into a positive for his team. And
Team, yeah.
I'd like to see that kind of going forward. I know it seems like maybe they're getting burnt out, but I guess it's just getting later and later on into the season. And as the season wears on with baseball, it's got to take a toll on these players, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. They've been playing for a minute now. We've been talking about them. And the fact that they're still even winning games is something definitely to talk about. Um, but man, my player of the game, it got to be Justin Verlander too. I agree with you. He was on fire. He showed why he was one of their top pitchers. He kind of showed, especially after that little altercation. He didn't let that stop him or knock off his game. He kept striking them out. Just whatever. We finna show you why we the Astros. And then, no, I ain't gonna lie. The Red Sox they had a few good hitters though. They definitely had a few good hitters, but the Astros knew what they were doing. They started early. They striked out. They hustled. That's one thing we got to say about the Astros. They know how to hustle. They know how to run defense if they need to. They know how when the right time is. So
Oh yeah, and then just like taking a look at the home run leaders, you got Tucker with 25, Alvarez with 21, Bregman with
yeah,
20, McCormick with 19, and then Diaz 18, Abro 10, Pena 10, and Maldonado also 10. So
yeah. Yeah, they were all on fire. It's like they all kind of move on one accord. They know how to all come together and yeah. And if you got all that, if they all striking out, man, y'all in trouble. If they hitting home runs each, it's definitely a hard one.
They've really kind of gelled as a unit and just as a team, really. If you look at like within the past, I would even say a few years, they've become one of the elite baseball teams for sure.
Definitely. They, and a lot of people were talking about the Astros at first, but they turned their negative to a positive. They know how to come back in the game. They know how to come back in a lot of baseball teams. They can't do that. So you got to give them credit where it's due. It's still a good team. I definitely would like to see them back championship, you know, back in that status. So we're gonna see you guys. Um, but yeah, I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. But okay, the next thing we got up is